Hi everybody, and welcome to Josiah is Right. So in the late 1980s, my mornings very likely began with Fraggle Rock, followed by some Sesame Street, and then some Muppet Babies. On a good day, 5-year-old me would be freaked out by Labyrinth or the Dark Crystal. Regardless, it was a full day of Muppets. On December 16th, 1987, my day ended with a viewing of a Muppet Family Christmas. At least I assume so. Hey, I was 5 years old, come on. Henson and Company. His company was actually called Henson Associates, so I assume Henson and his associates, but anyway, they dabbled in Christmas before, with a wonderfully understated Emmett Otter's Jug-Band Christmas and a John Denver Christmas special. I've never seen the latter, but the former is an all-time classic. They also had 5 seasons of television and several really fantastic movies in the 1970s and 1980s. This isn't yet the off-the-rails 90s Muppets, with the notable 90s exception of the exceptional Muppet Christmas Carol. A Muppet Christmas Carol is their best film, but the best thing Henson and his associates ever did for TV? A Muppet Family Christmas. Why is it so good? Because it's so very simple. It's pretty much a single setting, jam-packed with characters you already know and love, and you just want to watch them interact. So basically it's a not bleak and depressing Avengers Infinity War. The simple setting is also great from a producing point of view, because it keeps things cheap. And what they don't spend on elaborate set pieces, they spent on songs. Tons and tons of classic Christmas songs. But we'll come back to that later. So what's this thing all about? The plot is really quite simple. Fozzie is taking the gang, all of his associates, home to visit his mom. In a very Muppet-like twist and convention, Mom is headed to Malibu to surf. She ran to the house of some old dude and his dog, who look strangely familiar to my 5-year-old eyes. Hang on a second. That's the dog from Fraggle Rock. And that's the old guy that hangs out in the basement. Doc just wants quiet, but I assure you, with 15,000 Muppets on the premises, quiet is one thing he will definitely not get for Christmas. The conflict, the humor, the drama all comes from that simple premise. Everyone is snowed in. Well, that and a bit of drama regarding Miss Piggy getting caught in the blizzard. Throughout the course of the show, the Sesame Street gang even shows up, like the Riders of Rohan coming to Gondor's aid. Really, they come a-caroling, and decide to stay, because that's what family does. There are other nice moments such as the Muppet Babies as puppets, and a Fraggle song, but it remains a show for and about the core Muppet family. The Muppets are often sarcastic, even at times a bit raunchy. I mean, the turkey in this episode is kind of a creeper. He's at risk of being cooked, but he is clearly the predator.
Let's me and you go out to the farmyard for a little friendly scratching and squawking.
One thing the Muppets are not is mean-spirited. In the 80s, science fiction and fantasy was much more dark, much more bleak, and very much cynical. Heck, even Disney put out the Black Cauldron and then ignored it forever. The Muppets, however, are not cynical. The world of the Muppets, and that's all the Muppets, isn't ideal. Even Sesame Street is kind of dirty. It's kind of like George Lucas' take on Star Wars. Use space. The Muppets exist in a well-lived-in and thoroughly chaotic world. Heck, it's fueled by the chaos. But in the end, it's all about getting together as a family. Those shared moments. And the best of those moments are the quiet ones. Now as a father, it's the quiet that comes at the end of a long day of running, screaming, falling, running, falling, climbing, falling, running, crying, screaming, falling. But it's the quiet that comes at the end of all that. When I watch my daughter sleep. Maybe it's not exactly peaceful to get her to sleep, but once she's there, it's just pure magic. It's Muppet-like magic. It's also about how family isn't just family. I love my family dearly, but my heart's big, and there's room for other people in it. Friends who become like my family. And what is family about? Self-sacrifice. In a largely non-religious Christmas special, I find great examples of what it's like to be Christ-like. Self-sacrificing. Giving yourself for others. From Fozzie's mom being upset with everyone coming, yet also willing to cancel her plans, and just truly be happy to have Fozzie and his weirdo friends, to Doc wanting to be alone for Christmas. That's why he rented the house, realizing it's better with people you care about. And then his willingness to go out into the dangerous blizzard to search for Miss Piggy. The end of the special is so utterly beautiful. I found myself beyond words. Tears in my eyes as I watched this. It'd been a long time since I'd seen it, and in retrospect, it's quite powerful. As the gang sings, Jim Henson himself, a father figure to millions of kids like me, and the father figure for all those associates, looks on. He turns to Sprocket and says,
Well, they certainly seem to be having a good time out there, Sprocket. Yeah, I like it when they have a good time.
And then with one small but significant sacrifice, decides not to join them, but to do the dishes. Now why did we, myself included, forget about this completely perfect Christmas special? Lawyers. Well, sort of. It's legal issues, but I shouldn't probably blame the lawyers. I mean, they just write the contracts after all. But Now that Disney owns the Muppets, the shared universe is completely disconnected. You have Sesame Street over here and Fraggle Rock over there, and even though they're together there, they're not really together anymore. Sadly. So we'll probably never see it for that reason. But that's not the real issue here. The real issue is all those wonderful Christmas songs. There are nearly as many classic Christmas songs here as there are Muppets. Songs that only acquired the rights for the original television airing. It's actually been released since then, but without several of the songs, so it's just not the same. So that, in my humble, Muppet-loving opinion, is the greatest Christmas special that's ever been aired. What's your favorite? Really though, the question is, what's the worst?
I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror.
Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know, what is your favorite Christmas special, and what is your worst? We'll be back with a video about that very soon. Merry Christmas!